hello everyone. I'm Minyan Yap from SPD's Communications and Outreach team. Welcome to our first Coffee with Your Pal podcast. Today we will be diving into a topic that's one of the priorities of many people. The definition of work-life balance has changed. Priorities are different, and it is even more so for the younger workforce. So we'd like to explore why that is, what it means to our speakers today, how it is like at SPD. Together with us, we have SPD CEO, Mr. Abhimanyau, as well as Assistant Manager Eunice Chua and Occupational Therapist Nurlina Binte Jumaat. So the first question for everyone would be, can you tell us about yourself, how long you've been with us, and your role at SPD? Maybe Eunice, you can start first.
Hello everyone, I'm Eunice. I've been in SPD for about 5 years already. And when I started, I was actually a speech therapist. And right now I'm actually managing the rehab program here at HQ. Personally, I am actually a mother of two. One is 2 years old and the other one is coming in a few weeks' time.
Thanks for sharing, Eunice. What about you, Lina?
Hi everyone, my name is Lina. I'm an occupational therapist under Centralized Services of Therapy Hub, and I've been in SPD since July 2021, so around 3 years. I'm currently serving in the shelter workshop, but for the past 2 years, I've been rotated around the rehab center and also a nursing home. So I think SPD has given me quite a few opportunities and experiences throughout my clinical journey.
Mr. Paul, maybe you can share with us how long you've been with us and what do you do as a CEO at SPD?
Recently got my long service award for 15 years. So it's my job to take care of it and the people of SPD and lead the team to serve our clients better, to make sure they are part of the society and not apart.
Thanks for sharing. This question is for everyone. So on a scale of 1 to 5, with 1 being having lower work-life balance and 5 being having high work-life balance, how would you rate your work-life balance in your current role? Maybe Eunice, you can share.
I would rate 4 out of 5. I'm quite thankful that I think work has been really meaningful for me. I'm very thankful also that I am able to dedicate my efforts, my time, and devote myself to my work. After I knock off, I can fully dedicate myself to my family as well. I mean, the boundary sometimes it may not be that clear. Of course, there are times when urgent work matters come up. Then I might actually find myself having to maybe deal with some of the work outside of work hours and such. But I think it's not tall, but it's because I enjoy the work that I do, and there's a time when I prioritize my family as well. When, let's say, if they're sick, they need me a bit more, or even if I'm on holiday and things like that. I think it has worked out for me fairly well.
I rated a 3 out of 5, and it's because in the past year I also transited into a new role as a wife, and also earlier this year I transited into a new role at Shelter Workshop. So this year I took on different responsibilities and also different roles. So I'll say that currently in my life there's quite a bit of changes that I need to adapt to. So I do need some time to maybe get a hang of things and also to see how work-life balance and its definition may change for me.
Mr. Paul, I guess everyone here and at SPD would want to know how their CEO would rate his work-life balance. So with the amount of responsibilities and the number of people you need to guide, what would your rating be?
I will score 4 for myself. And I guess this work-life balance subject is, at least for me, over time it is changed. And I know SPD has a very wide range of our colleagues. It's a very, very important subject, especially in today's world when things are changing very fast. We are all chasing for targets to meet. There are so many personal or your career goals. All those things sometimes make us to completely get blinded about our personal life. The loved one that is very important to our life because they are our backbone. If we have a very disturbed personal life, then I would say it will definitely impact in our career and the way we perform in the society.
Well, so it seems like everyone is quite aligned. And honestly, it is quite heartwarming to hear that work-life balance is important at SPD. So thanks for sharing, everyone. For Eunice, you mentioned that you are a mom of two. Can you explain more about how work-life balance is like for you specifically and your role?
I do appreciate it if I can define the time that I'm spending for work. And then when I go home, I don't have to think about work, focus on my family. Of course, sometimes priorities have to shift, but I think for me, it is important that, whatever I am doing right now, that I can focus, give it my all. Because I am responsible to, my team, and at the same time, I'm also responsible for my family. It really helps if my family is also understanding if I do need to deal with certain work matters at certain times. Also, the other way around, when my colleagues are also understanding when matters crop up at home, then, some of them can actually step in, take over, or be understanding that I might not respond as fast. That to me defines work-life balance as a whole.
So, Lina, the past year has been quite exciting for you, and just wanted to find out more about how you define work-life balance in both your personal life and your career.
I'm still quite new to the field. 3 years in, I still feel like quite fresh. So I try to define my boundaries as much as I can. But I think sometimes in terms of the work-life balance or boundaries, there tends to be a grey area. I do try my best to not look at work on the weekends, but unfortunately there will be some times where I do have to look into my clients' cases or read up more. But to me, sometimes it's okay because it's something that aligns with my values. As an OT, I try my best to serve my clients to the best of my abilities, and understanding their conditions or cases would allow me to better manage or serve them in the long run. I do try to maybe set a maximum of like 1 hour on a weekend to plan my cases or plan the caseload for the week.
My role is to make sure that everybody understand the importance of work-life balance. Without a good balance, I think life would be pretty stressful. And I'm very happy that the senior management team also value that. Being a social service, many of our senior management leaders are also women. So as I will say that as a whole organization, we really value this. And it's a top agenda for us.
Well, I think it's true to a certain extent that, for women especially, the pressure is there. There is that expectation. Often we are the main caregivers of our children. Home play quite a significant role. Personally, I do have career aspirations. It is very important to be very clear for myself about what I want at specific like phases of my life, and being realistic of my capacity. For example, I'm preparing for my second one.
Yeah.
I would really prioritize, my family, childcare, and all those needs at hand. I would have to acknowledge that's where my professional development work might take a backseat. So that means slowing down a little bit. The most important thing is making sure that I'm not burnt out. I have enough energy, mind space to actually dedicate myself to my family when I return to my work as well.
You mentioned about slowing down and communicating your needs and your goals to not just your colleagues and your bosses, but to your family as well, because in a way it's an all-rounded support that you need to achieve whatever that you want in life, be it to be the mom that you want to be or to reach a certain career goal or career milestone, right? Have you faced any challenges in seeking support from your colleagues or leadership due to any misconception or misalignment about work-life balance?
I think I've been quite fortunate. I haven't actually encountered any misconception, and I think the key to it is really being open and communicating what you need at that point of time. There might be some negotiation, sometimes whether it's a crisis or challenges that is required. I'm required to address.
So back to you, Lina. So looking at the broader picture on how society sees the different generations, right? So people often say that Gen Zs or even millennials are the generation that places more emphasis on mental well-being and a balanced approach to work. Do you feel that this is something that's possible to achieve?
I think it's definitely possible. It's definitely something that my generation wants to work towards. We are quite aware of the importance of mental well-being, and we understand how important it is to take care of our mental health before we are able to do well in our jobs, perform, and even to serve our clients. And we are also aware of how burnout can affect different people, be it in terms of their mental health or even physical health in the long run. So we're always trying to actively find ways to avoid that. It doesn't mean that we want to give up easily or that we don't want to strive in our jobs, but we're always trying to find ways to help us be the most efficient or effective without sacrificing too much of our own health in the long run.
I think this is something everybody making mistakes. You go into a culture like, oh, if your boss don't leave office, you cannot leave. So as an organization, we have very well communicated that everybody know their role, they know their responsibilities. We try to support them as much we can.
If I may add, I am guilty of having that mindset that when I walk into a workplace, I think that I'll need to follow the culture exactly. If my boss stays late, I'll feel obligated to stay as well. But I feel since I've joined SPD almost a year ago, I've realized that it is clear that everybody knows their roles and responsibilities, and there is the support that is given. And I also think that each generation has their own views towards work-life balance, towards how you should approach your career. And in a way, because of these different views, there can be misconceptions and misunderstandings in the process.
I think our generation is definitely misunderstood because whenever you see people of our generation, we're all just glued to our screens all the time. I am quite guilty of that, and I think it does portray us to be socially isolated or just not caring about what's going on around us. But I think in a way we are misunderstood because social media kind of keeps us connected to others. And when we use social media as a platform to keep up this connection, it maintains social relationships beyond what face-to-face interactions can sometimes provide, especially when we're quite new to our jobs, our career. Sometimes we need to spend more time at work, and I guess we are just trying to find ways to stay connected to one another, but maybe just in a different way.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. I have friends who either want to just go all out for their career, and there's the other group where they know that they have a sacrifice to make if they choose family first, especially if they're going to have kids. So for people like in my age group especially, we think that climbing the corporate ladder and work-life balance can be opposing forces.
I will suggest that don't make that mistakes. If you sacrifice all your loved one and even your personal well-being and just go for career, that is not sustainable. After some times, you will feel lonely. Along the way, you will start to feel you have not done your part as a daughter, not doing your duties as a wife. And once that start to build up over time, you will be feeling something missing there. And that feeling is terrible. So I will encourage, yes, career. I know many people. They are pretty very successful and balancing their career as well as their personal life. When I was just married, uh, even before married, almost working 16 hours a day. But at the same time, we have our good friend circle that we used to go out, hang around. We used to go for our weekly badminton, weekly tennis, and we spend quite good quality time.
Thank you for sharing, Paul. It seems like as the CEO, you prioritize work-life balance within the company, and it is important to give the right resources and support to each individual staff when needed. I just have a question for you, Eunice. As you become a mom of two, what kind of support have you received so far from SPD that you felt helped you balance work and life better? Were there any instances or specific resources that you found helpful in achieving your emotional, physical, or even your overall happiness?
I think it really helps to know that I am not alone on my journey. Quite a number of my colleagues are also moms, so we share that same journey. So it's nice to be able to share and observe how others cope. It may not be exactly the same journey as you, but it's helpful to really see how people cope in different ways, learn and gain that support from each other as well. So I think that's one thing as well. So, and also having, a good relationship with the colleagues and taking care of each other's well-being lah. Yeah. So all these contributes to that well-being.
Now that you're going to become a mom of two, I guess even at home in your personal life, the priorities are shifting from a mom of one versus a mom of two. Like, what is one thing that you have done differently?
To a certain extent, there is sacrifice involved. Before I became a mom, I definitely had way more time to myself. Socially, I could hang out more with my friends. I still try to join and things like that. But I acknowledge after being a mom, especially with a young kid at home, my family needs me a little bit more. So that's where I do have to, give up some of my own personal time for my family as well. So this is the stage that I'm in, and I acknowledge that this is what is required, especially if I'm really also concerned about my family, my child's well-being, development, all these things. But that is also what brings me that joy and meaning as well. It's not like oh no, I have to do this and that's a sacrifice and I'm something I've lost. But of course, the other side is that I've gained more family time, that which I do enjoy, and it is also important to me. Yeah, so I think that's really about acknowledging at what point of time what brings you that meaning and joy, and I dedicate myself to it. I commit myself, and still be able to enjoy that process in this phase of life for me lah. So I'm just thankful that now I guess I'm still learning, I would say.
Once I had kids, I used to go home pretty early, maybe 6:30, spend a little bit of quality time for family work, and then maybe around 9, when the child is in her bed, then I can have another 1-2 hours to work together. When she's in a primary school, I used to leave home very early to drop her to school. And that means my colleagues used to get very stressed that when they see CEO in office around 6-7 o'clock in the morning. So that's the thing that I have to communicate well with them, that this is my way of working now. Now, around late 50s, I'm pretty flexible. Those days have a lot of meetings, a lot of events to attend in the evening. We have to work harder. We have to spend long time in office. But on the other day, when things are 9 to 5, I will go back. I'll leave.
Thank you. So, going back to work-life balance, and as we conclude this, so do you have any final words of advice for listeners?
I would say do what works best for yourself. So everyone's journey is different. When it comes to family, being a mom, managing the things at home, the resources that we have are very different. I try to know my own capacity, what stage I am, and making sure that, every moment that I am in, I'm able to focus, at the same time also find joy and find meaning in it. Yeah, so I think that to me is very important.
I think an advice or tip that I'll give to anyone that is wanting to try out the social service space or even as an occupational therapist in general is always to remember that rest is important. Honestly, for myself, I tried to push myself too much at the beginning and I was on the brink of burnout. So, honestly, when we are working so hard to serve others, not only are we putting in a lot of hard work, but we're also putting in a lot of heart into our work. So I would say before we can care for others, it's actually very important to care for ourselves because there's just so much that you can give when you yourself are on the brink of a burnout. I think for me, what helps is being able to identify my stress signs better and also having good social support that can also identify your stress for you.
Thank you everyone for sharing your perspective on work-life balance. It's really great to hear the different views on how to achieve work-life balance, challenges faced so far, as well as the support that can be given in the social service sector. We really hope that the insights shared by our guests today resonate with you. And let us know what work-life balance means to you. We'd love to hear your thoughts and keep the conversation going. Until next time, take care and prioritize your well-being.